According to PETA, also known as the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, states that more than 100 million animals suffer and die in the U.S. every 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 year in experiments for chemicals, drugs, food, and cosmetics. By comparison, the largest city in the world is Shanghai, with a population of 24 million. If we were talking about people, this is like losing four large cities the size of Shanghai each year. Testing on animals to develop new products should not be allowed. I have owned pets since I was young, and in my 21 years, I've had three dogs, two in which are still part of my family. I have read some articles related to this topic. And lastly, is my personal religious like beliefs, and my like belief is that killing is wrong. Although like advances in science are necessary, experimenting on animals to get those advances should not be allowed. New products are like developed in this country every day, and extensive testing takes place before these products are released. Often this testing takes place on live animals. This testing is wrong because it is unethical. Animals are different than human beings and make terrible test subjects, and scientists can use other alternatives to testing. The first reason why I think testing on animals is wrong is it's because it's unethical. First, the first reason why it's unethical is the way they live inside of like the testing like facilities. According to the Humane Society of the U.S., Cornell University laboratory personnel failed to ensure that woodchuck housing was safe, like resulting in a woodchuck pup catching his front limbs in the bars of the inner door of the isolation cage. Both limbs were broken, and as a result, the animal was euthanized. Also, because going in deeper into that it's an ethical is because they are kept in the same cage with very little room to move around. Also, the animals are seen as disposable. According to PETA, before their deaths, some are forced to inhale toxic fumes, and others are immobilized in restraint devices for hours. Some have holes drilled into their skulls, and others have their skin burned off or their spinal cords crushed. I read some on PETA some more, like about this, and when they it depends on how the animal and which experiments they do on them. If they are just small, not very severe, they will use them again. But if they are doing surgeries on them, oftentimes shortly after they are euthanized, bringing an end to their life, which is not fair to them at all. The second reason why I think animal testing is unethical is that it causes pain. According to the Humane Society of the United States, during surgery by unsupervised, inexperienced students at the St. Lawrence University, a round was inadequately anesthetized and was sitting up and kicking around during the whole entire procedure. Surgery on an animal who has not received adequate anesthesia can result in extreme pain and stress. Also, according to the Humane Society of the United States, a study was conducted on a viral infection at the University of California, San Diego, which 8 infected guinea pigs were not humanely euthanized before they became hunched in pain, barely able to move, and lost their ability to eat and drink. And lastly, one more real life example of why it causes pain is, according to the Humane Society of the U.S., a study was published in a scientific journal which read, rats were placed in a swimming pool one at a time, and then without warning, an escape-proof wire net was placed over their body, forcing them underwater for 30 seconds at a time to create an experience of an underwater trauma. The next reason why I think animal testing should not be allowed is because animals are very, very different than human beings, and therefore make poor test subjects and experiments. There are anatomic and cellular differences between animals and people, and it's hard to create an animal model that equates to humans. According to an article in the Huffington Post written by Dr. Aisha Atka, no two humans are alike in their physiology. Even identical twins differ in their susceptibility to like diseases and their responses to medications. If we can't reliably extrapolate from one identical twin to another, how can we expect to extrapolate results from different species to humans? Lastly, there are alternatives that researchers can use, such as in vitro testing, which uses human cells and tissues, and lastly, silico models, which is like another term for computer modeling. In conclusion, although there is a need for new embedment or products, animal testing is wrong and it should be outlawed. Testing on animals is wrong because first it isn't ethical. The animals are kept in small cages and are constantly in pain. The second reason is that animals are different than humans. The anatomy of a rat is different than an anatomy of a human. The last reason is there should be alternatives used by scientists. Some examples of these would be in vitro testing and silico models. The greatness of a nation can be judged by the way its animals are treated. A quote I like